Welcome, little adventurers of Funpedia. Settle in as we unravel a delightful, whimsical tale, a day in the life of Fumble the Clumsy Bear. Prepare to be amused and amazed by Fumble's mishaps and merriment. Welcome to a special tale about a lovable bear named Fumble. Hidden deep within a lush forest is a cozy cave where Fumble resides, his clumsy nature making every day an adventure filled with laughter. As the day begins, Fumble yawns and stretches, his clumsy paw knocking over a stone that startles a passing rabbit. The forest awakes with his antics, a start to another day filled with his delightful clumsiness. Today, Fumble decides to go for a swim in the nearby brook. However, his entry is more of a splash than a graceful dive, creating ripples of laughter among the forest inhabitants. Drying off, Fumble sets off to gather food. He sights a honeycomb, his eyes glistening with excitement. But in his rush, he tumbles down the slope, the thud of his fall echoing through the forest, his plan a hilarious misadventure. Undeterred, Fumble attempts to climb a tree to reach the berries above. He huffs and puffs, his attempt shaky yet endearing. Finally, he grabs a branch but it snaps, sending him tumbling down, the berries showering over him like a sweet reward. Fumble returns home, carrying the fruits of his adventure. As he walks, he stumbles, sending the berries rolling. With a sheepish grin, he gathers them, his journey home a comedy of errors. Back at his cave, Fumble enjoys his meal. But, in his eagerness, he squashes a berry, causing it to squirt on his face. His surprise and subsequent laughter fill the cave, the echoes joining the forest mirth. After his meal, Fumble decides to explore the forest. He stumbles upon a log and decides to cross it. However, he loses balance and tumbles over, landing on a soft patch of moss, his exploration turning into a hilarious journey. Fumble's day ends as he trudges back to his cave. Tired yet content, he walks into a low-hanging branch, causing him to tumble into his cave. His day of fun and laughter has come to a close, his signature clumsiness the perfect end. As night falls, Fumble prepares for bed. He pats down his straw bed, but his heavy paw sends it flying. With a chuckle, he retrieves it, his bedtime routine as chaotic as the rest of his day. Finally tucked in, Fumble drifts off to sleep. His snores echo through the cave, a soothing lullaby for the forest. As Fumble dreams, his paws twitch, mirroring his clumsy adventures in his sleep. Fumble dreams of being a hero, saving a group of bunnies stuck on a tree. Despite his clumsy attempts, he manages to bring them down, the forest cheering for their clumsy yet kind-hearted hero. His dream takes him on a flight with a friendly eagle. He wobbles and bobbles, causing the eagle to chuckle, their laughter echoing across the silent mountains, an echo of joy in the still night. Fumble's dreams are filled with laughter and fun, a reflection of his day. Even in sleep, Fumble knows how to entertain, his endearing clumsiness painting dreams of mirth. As dawn approaches, Fumble stirs from his sleep. His paw accidentally hits a small stone, revealing a hidden tunnel in his cave. His curiosity piqued, he decides to explore it, his day starting with an exciting discovery. Inside the tunnel, Fumble discovers shiny quartz. Excited, he decides to decorate his cave. As he tries to arrange them, he stumbles, causing the quartz to scatter, their sparkle reflecting Fumble's joy. Back in the main cave, Fumble slips on a loose stone and lands on his straw bed, the impact making the quartz gleam brighter, turning his cave into a spectacle of dancing lights, a beautiful start to his day. Outside, the forest is buzzing with activity. The creatures eagerly await Fumble's appearance, their day incomplete without his entertaining antics. Fumble steps out of his cave and heads towards a bush of juicy berries. In his excitement, he fails to notice the low entrance and bumps his head, his morning starting with a hearty laughter. Fumble shakes the bush and a shower of berries falls. However, he slips on a berry and lands in the bush, his breakfast mission turning into a humorous event. Fumble's day is filled with playful chases, comical stumbles, and delightful tumbles. He is the heart of the forest, his antics bringing joy and laughter to all around him. As evening approaches, Fumble makes his way back home. He steps into his cave and trips on a stone, landing on his soft bed. His chuckle echoes through the cave, signaling the end of another joy-filled day. Getting ready for bed, Fumble pats down his straw bed. But his heavy paw sends the straw flying around the cave. He chuckles and gathers them back, his bedtime routine as hilarious as his day. Fumble finally settles into his bed, his sigh echoing in the cave. The fire flickers, casting playful shadows on the cave walls. Outside, the moon casts a gentle glow, and the forest settles into a peaceful night. As Fumble drifts off to sleep, his snoring lulls the forest into a calm slumber. His dreams are filled with delightful tumbles and fumbles, mirroring his day, and promising another day of joy and laughter. His dreams take him to an underwater world where he swims with the fishes, his clumsy paddling creating bubbles of laughter that float to the surface. In another dream, Fumble is the king of the forest, his reign filled with fun and laughter, creating a joy-filled kingdom where every stumble is celebrated, every tumble a reason for a festival. Outside his cave, the moon shines brightly, casting a silvery glow on the forest. The quiet night is filled with the comforting sound of Fumble snoring, the forest lulled into a peaceful sleep by their beloved friend. As dawn approaches, Fumble's dreams begin to fade. He slowly wakes up, his clumsy movements causing a new adventure to begin. With a yawn and a stretch, he prepares for a new day, ready to fill the forest with his endearing clumsiness. His day starts with a trip and a tumble, a hearty laughter echoing through the forest. His presence stirs the forest to life, his antics a perfect start to the day. During breakfast, Fumble attempts to reach a beehive, hoping for a sweet reward. His shaky climb is as entertaining as always, his fall cushioned by a soft bush, the forest echoing with mirth. Undeterred, Fumble heads towards the brook. His clumsy attempts to catch fish turn into a splashy event, the forest inhabitants watching his antics with amusement, his spirit undampened by his continual tumbles. As Fumble explores the forest, he stumbles upon a log. In his attempt to balance on it, he wobbles and tumbles, the forest echoing with shared laughter, his exploration turning into a delightful performance. Back at his cave, Fumble decides to redecorate. However, his attempts end in a hilarious chaos of rolling stones and sparkling quartz, his cave transformed into a cave of joyous laughter. As the day ends, Fumble prepares his bed. His heavy paw sends the straw flying, his goodnight pat turning into a whirlwind of hilarity, the perfect end to his delightful day. As he drifts off to sleep, his dreams are filled with wonderful adventures. He dreams of flying with birds, his clumsy attempts creating a spectacle in the sky, the birds chirping in amusement. His dreams take him on a treasure hunt, his clumsy steps leading to hilarious missteps, his journey filled with laughter and delight, a reflection of his joyful day. Fumble dreams of being a superhero, saving his forest friends from tricky situations. His clumsy heroism brings joy and safety, the forest echoing with their laughter and cheers. Even in his dreams, Fumble remains the heart of the forest, his endearing clumsiness turning every situation into a joy-filled adventure, his dreams echoing the mirth of his day. As dawn approaches, Fumble slowly stirs from his sleep. He prepares for another day, his clumsy movements setting the stage for a day filled with laughter and joy. Fumble heads to the brook for a morning swim. His splashy entry sends ripples of laughter through the forest, his swim more of a comedy of splashes, the forest waking up to his delightful clumsiness. Fumble's breakfast is a feast of berries. His eager attempts to gather them result in a tumble, the berries showering him like a sweet reward, his breakfast turning into a joyous event. Fumble spends his day exploring the forest. His journey is filled with playful chases, delightful tumbles, and hilarious stumbles, the forest inhabitants eagerly participating in his joy-filled adventures. As evening approaches, Fumble heads back to his cave. His clumsy steps bring a smile to the forest, his return a sign of the day's end, the forest settling into a peaceful night. Fumble prepares for bed. His heavy paw sends his straw bed flying, his chuckle echoing through the cave, his bedtime routine as delightful as the rest of his day. Tucked into bed, Fumble drifts off to sleep. His dreams are filled with exciting adventures, his clumsy heroics causing laughter to echo through his dreams, his sleep as entertaining as his day. In his dream, Fumble is a circus performer, his clumsy acrobatics causing an uproar of laughter, his performance a celebration of his endearing clumsiness. Another dream takes him on a ride on a friendly turtle. His wobbly ride is as entertaining as always, the dream creatures joining in his laughter, his dream a reflection of his joy-filled day. Outside his cave, the moon casts a soft glow on the forest. The tranquil night is punctuated by the comforting sound of Fumble snoring, a lullaby for the forest, the peaceful night promising another day of joy and laughter. And thus ends another day in the life of Fumble, the clumsy bear whose heart is as big as his mishaps. As the world around him drifts into dreams, Fumble is already ready to tumble into a new day of adventures. Good night, Fumble. Sleep well and dream of more delightful tumbles and fumbles. Tomorrow awaits your wonderful clumsiness.